Namaste, my friend. We are in golden years. We both are. It is a second mountain, finding deeper purpose through the Eastern wisdom, and that is the series I have started. After decades of climbing the first mountain of career success, family responsibilities, many of us are asking, majority of the people ask in this age, what's now? Oh, retirement. Retirement means retire. Are you getting tired again? That is what the retired is, or something else? We have to move to the second mountain. Happiness and the wisdom in our life as long as we live. Let us live in happiness and wisdom all the time, 24 by 7, for a week. That week, every day, every hour is equivalent to 1,000 years. Don't you know that when we are totally absorbed in happiness, guided by the wisdom, not the pleasure, the short term pleasure, we feel the time. We transcended the time. That is the journey of the Eastern wisdom because real self is of the nature of permanent peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. And that is what is the journey now in these golden years. Can you figure out that family responsibilities, taking care of the kids? I will not buy the new clothes for me. Let me buy something for my kids. We had those moments in our lives. But now we are free. We don't experience the freedom. We think what to do in the world outside. No, what to do inside you. Anytime, anywhere, in any situation. When the mind asks you a question, what to do in the world outside, what to do? Now, check. Mind, do you want to say me that what to do in the world? No. What to do inside to discover myself. That should be our goal, desire, aspiration, motivation, intention, whatever you want to say. Many people ask me, I have spent decades building my identity. Identity. Want spiritual growth mean losing who I am? Majority of the people ask me, want the spiritual growth and awakening means that I lose all my identity. You have to lose that identity which is made, which stands on the false I. It is better to lose it now. But on the other side, I always say it is a beautiful paradox on the spiritual journey, self discovery. When you discover, is that by loosening your grip on limited identity, my kids, my family, my relationship, nobody is taking care of me, I still constricted myself. I have constructed that limited identity over the years. But when you lose it, you break that limited circle. When you break that limited circle by understanding and studying and practicing, and recognizing and realizing that real self, you don't become less, you become more. I'm going to use the metaphor for you to understand, and you have to contemplate and reflect. You have to contemplate and reflect every day until your mind is purified so that we can move deeper. That limited circle being limited, constricted, and then thinking of retirement, getting tired again. Why? These are the knots. Our highest text, Upanishad, says, one of them is the Katha Upanishad, which says, when all the knots of the heart are loosened, then even here the mortal becomes immortal. Those knots are our fixed identifications with the particular roles in the self images that we have created. This is the time now to get rid of it. How can I reconcile? I got another question from another man who lives in these golden years. How can I reconcile my practical responsibilities while making a journey of the self discovery? Nothing has to be changed outside. You are not abandoning your worldly duties. You are transforming your inner landscape. You are settled into that happiness and wisdom by dropping your false identities, so you are living into your golden age. At this stage of the life, we are likely we likely fulfill um, we likely fulfilled our primary responsibilities. This offers a unique opportunity to continue engaging with the life inside while gradually shifting. You shift your perspective from the doer, because we identified with the doer. I taken care of my family, my kids, and my parents, and my business. Superwoman. Now we have to find the superior self. Is it too late to start this journey at this age? No, not only. It is not too late in many ways. This is the perfect time. Modern neuroscience confirms what Eastern wisdom have long taught. What it confirms, the brain remains plastic throughout the life. One doctor, Richard Davidson, at the University of Wisconsin, has shown that the meditation practices or studying the Eastern wisdom, recognizing and realizing the higher states, can significantly alter the brain functions and structure, even in these golden years. There is another Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, perhaps if I remember, Upanishad, the cream text, the gem, in which there is a story of a person, Satyakama, who had a profound realization in this age. So, what we are learning today, wisdom, well, well, where we uh, put the bucket inside the well and take the water out. The well of wisdom. Wellness is different. Wisdom will. Eastern wisdom will. Tapping your deepest self. Wisdom will. It is a concept of accessing deep inner wisdom in a later stages of the life, which I mentioned as one of the coaching session titles. The wisdom well is a metaphorical concept that represents the accumulated reservoir of life, accumulated reservoir of water, accumulated reservoir of the life experiences, insights, understanding that we have developed over a lifetime. So, nothing to get into anxiety, no reaction, no duality, and a conflict. Let the reservoir of the life experiences guide me every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year, until we are alive. Wisdom will means I have accumulated experiences throughout the life, and we have navigated countless challenges, relationships, successes, failures. This creates a rich repository of experiential knowledge that can be drawn upon. We can learn from those experiences. For example, you have told your one son, "No, no, you are crazy. You are crazy." Oh, how many times? Maybe 100 times. And then I realized that by saying crazy, I get hurt, he gets hurt. Is there any other way to talk to that guy? Yes, there is another. So then you think. Instead of lack of thinking, you start thinking. After all, he is my son, so I have to show her love. But at the same time, with the love, not attachment, let me show her the wisdom. Pick up any of your experiences from the past and give talked about your experiences in the past, that I failed, and by doing this I failed, and then I changed my way, and now I'm learning. I learned a good lesson, so I'm calm, and that guy is calm. Did you learn anything from this? Not redirecting, not dictating. So that is what the wisdom well, the first. And the second wisdom, second aspect of the wisdom well is the reflective insight. There's a lot of time to contemplate and reflect. The wisdom well isn't just about having had many experiences, but about having reflected on those experiences and extracted deeper meaning from them. And then there is an integral understanding, integrated understanding. You know what happens in these golden years? People often call this is not a golden years, this is iron years. A lot of frustration, anxiety. I did this, I did not do this. Nobody is listening. No, 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 don't go there. Integrated understanding. One aspect is that we often develop more nuances. And integrated understanding is that I combine, I learn from my experiences, and I know how to think, behave, and act. What is this? This is an emotional maturity. If I do not live in the emotional maturity in these golden years, what I have learned from my life. And when I have an emotional maturity, there is no anxiety, duality, and a conflict. Did you understand that point? There is a sense of emotional maturity. I got into anxiety at 100 times, but I learned from that experiences there is no need. And that takes us to unfold my unfolding my ideas. I have to transition to the second mountain. I have to understand what are the superimpositions and false identifications. I have to understand how that pure consciousness is all pervasive. It is present. The peace is present in your son, older son and daughter. Happiness is present in the world outside. I don't see it. Why? Because it is veiled. I have to unveil it. That is our second mountain. How? By listening and learning these principles of Eastern wisdom. I'll explain you by another example. I gave a brief of it, and then I'm going to. You have to put yourself in these concentric circles. There is a point. Point is also a circle. Then there is a small circle. Then another circle. Third circle. Fourth circle. That is what we say the concentric circles of the self. We create an identity and we run after those identities, and then only we are suffering. We'll talk about it. So, that concentric circles which limits our life, and because of the identity, we start suffering from delusion and ignorance. Does that make a sense? Don't leave the Mangalacharan, the morning invocation. Sarvesham Swastir. Mind will reject in the beginning, mind will refuse to accept the explanation in few days in the morning, but you continue doing it at least for 3 months without faith. You wake up in the morning, the first thing the waker says, let everyone be happy, let everyone be in peace, let everyone be whole, let there be an auspiciousness. And then you pick up each statement and you let everyone be happy. Why? Because happiness is our essential nature. If happiness is my nature, it is your nature, it is the nature of everyone. Then why this guy reacted to me? Because he does not recognize the happiness is within. He is seeking or she is seeking happiness from me, which is not possible. But did I react? Oh, I should not also react. That type of contemplation should follow the last two practices that I gave. And then you are listening and learning. You are learning these simple principles, and then you see, but after listening and learning, you move from the lack of thinking to a conscious thinking. That is what the contemplation and reflection is. I have a lot of fears and anxiety. One young guy, a Gen millionaire, is 35, 36, and he said, I have a lot of fears. What should I do? Lack of thinking. He is well built. He has 6 abs. He is 6 feet 4 inches. Still he has fears. Lack of thinking. So the third program, after listening and learning, you move from the lack of thinking to conscious. The moment you have an anxiety, one major cause is lack of thinking. You take it for granted that you have anxiety, you have fears, you have reaction, you have... Why? Because you have limited yourself. How you have limited yourself? You have created a circle. And that circle says that I am the body. And when I am the body, particular race, particular incident in a situation in relationship to the body causes the problem. But our life experiences is very rich so that we can move ahead. Contemplation and reflection is the third one that I discussed again and again. And once you reflect, your intellect reaches to a point of clarity. Doubt is not there. Delusion is gone. One guy whom I have coached a couple of years, so he told me that each day, the moment I wake up every day in the morning, I close my eyes. He said to me, I close my eyes and I ask myself, what lesson do I most need today? The reference is your mental state and mental conditioning, and you pick up the lesson. So you do the practice, then you listen and contemplate. So majority. So he told me that, I need a patience. I need to recognize that peace is within me, even if there is an anxiety on the surface. Peace is within me. Anxiety is on the surface. Peace is within me, and the anxiety is not. Practice, and experience. How long? Once we wake up in the morning, hours after hours, days after days, weeks after, there is a status quo maintained. The happiness, peace in the morning, in the afternoon, the evening, in situation, in relationship. For a few months, drop me. You can drop me also. But until then, we have a lot of doubts. We need to remove it. So you have to earn this wisdom. Now, I told you that the concentric circles, the dot, that dot is the birth. And that dot, we say it is a dot because I cannot see it is also a circle. So I'm very limited and constricted. How come? Because only security is the lap of my mother. The breast of my mother is the only, that is the point. I'm so limited. I have yet to develop an intellect. I'm not self-aware at all. So self-awareness comes from the intellect, because for the intellect I have to think. So that is a point. I'm just explaining you the entire life, how the life moves from one stage to the other with the concentric circles. Always think I'm constructed, totally closed. When you are closed and constructed, you have a sense of anxiety. You have a sense of reaction. We like to cry like the baby. It's circle. We don't see the circle. The point is a circle, but it is a circle. But we are very limited. And in that limitations, the mind all instinctively and impulsively works for safety, for food, for sleep. And the fourth one, the sexual pleasure, comes at a later stage. But you can say that pleasure one gets by sucking the nipples of a mom. That point. Now the circle has become little bigger, and they are my teenage years. The small circle, that small circle. I'm leaving the childhood. The teenage circle to make us understand. Teenage circle, I see the pleasure is in the smartphone. I need the smartphone. Pleasure is in this clothes. So we get obsessed. We start crying. I want this kind of a food. The candies. It's good. Teenage years. So now that limitation. Now think of that. That point is limited. I'm just find the security, safety, and the food in the lap of my mom. Are all animals live like that? Analyze it. And because all animals live like that, they grow in their size of the body vertically and horizontally, but their mindset remains the same. Why? Because absence of intellect. But teenage years, intellect started growing. That intellect says, no, the pleasure is outside. In a phone, in friends, in storybooks, in clothes, and a long list. Now we already know what the teenage people are doing. So that is the first small circle. Then there's a medium circle. So what is the medium circle? We became parents. Now my limited circle is to take care of my children, protect them, educate them, and if I have the resources, buy them the stuff they like, buy them the new car. Long list. I'm still limited. I'm not aware of the world outside situation. I have no time. While doing the job, one that also includes in the that also includes into that profession and taking care. I'm jumping. Otherwise, there will be many circles. So I'm not going there. So to make you understand. So parents and profession and business and the wealth and a house and etc. etc. And then we move to the midlife career, midlife job. It's a little a larger circle. You are a super business woman, so you might have taken care of a couple of employees. You might have laid off a couple of employees who are not working there. So your circle has become a little bigger. You might have been angry over our kids, medium circle. We become angry over our employees. The circle has become a little bit, but still it is limited. We are unaware of the nature of the world, nature of my real self. No. And then we start taking care of our parents, we are sandwich generation. We are taking care of the parents, we are taking care of the son and the kids, we're taking care of the business. A very confused state, but anyhow we organize. Large circle. Large circle after all, then very large circle. Very large circle, we have reached to the stage of golden years. How anyhow I failed in many ventures, but at least I succeeded. I have taken care of my parents, I'm happy, I'm satisfied. Be satisfied. You have whatever you have done for your kids. No guilt at all. No guilt. Because 60% of the responsibilities lies on your children, on your parents. You are in between. But to the best of your ability and the duty, you have taken care of them, and now you have a sense of freedom in the golden years to. Now, what is the largest circle? Every circle has some limitations. You are confined to work in this area. You have to think, speak, and act into that area. Because every circle has some limitations, something is in our control and other things not in our control. So there the frustration and anxiety and anger and reaction, duality and a conflict enters in our life. And we have faced that, we have experienced that. So you see that, just pay attention. Point circle, small circle. So small circle has a very, very big curve. Big curve means that it feels limited. But if you have the second larger circle, it have a larger area. The curvature is less. Next circle, the curvature is still goes on decreasing. What about if you have an infinite circle? It is a straight line. Straight line never meets. It is reaching to an infinite circle is the job of those people who live the golden years. No limitations, total freedom. Freedom from inside. Freedom inside. So each larger circle has its center further from the starting point. As circles expand, their curvature decreases. Curvature decreases means limitations are gone, anxiety is gone. The smallest circle represents the most limited nature of myself. The largest circle represents the infinite, unlimited, ultimate free. From the point to the small circle, to the medium circle, to the large circle, to the largest circle, to the infinite circle, all we have to change thought, speech, and action, our behavior and attitude, our responses to the outer world, to the body and the mind, and you live in freedom. In one way, you can say that is also an awakening. We are trying to understand if we don't follow the Eastern wisdom, how our mind follows the set pattern or the patterns set by the world outside. The world lives unconsciously. Subconsciously, instinctively. And that causes a lot of challenges because we carry home those impressions. Neighbor's mom has been very vocal, very tough on the kids, and his kid is growing fast, so I have also to do this. Nobody was there at that time to teach the Eastern wisdom. There is another way, there is another perspective. So you see, our parents became agitated, very tough on us in an unconscious and habitual way. So that is at the toddler, if we are at toddler point, it is just a point, it has no dimension or expansion. Its curvature is curvature. It has only one position. Toddler mind face grabbing toys without considering other children's feeling exemplifies this stage. Everything revolves around the immediate needs and desires without awareness of others. But as we grow older, we start understanding it. The small circle, the family, tribe, identification. The circle begins to have some area, but still I'm limited. Oh, you're my mom, you're my dad, you're my sibling, oh, you're my brothers, you're my friend, but still we are limited. The family or the parents we can reflect on. If we are the parents, fiercely protected and prioritize our children, that is the circle. The sense of the self has expanded beyond personal needs. My personal needs is gone, now I have to take care of the needs of my kids, immediate family members. my family first. You have heard the politicians, they always try to present how beautiful their family is. There may be a problem behind, these news outlets, expose them later. So it's purely an unconscious approach. So we modify the behavior in the public and we keep those frustration inside. No. Eastern wisdom says, no, you have to recognize where is the problem, you have to solve it. And then another circle, I've already explained you the medium circle. It is still covers a larger area where I'm doing, my relationship with my employer, or if I'm an entrepreneur, businessman or women, then I have to. So we create those impressions in our life. But as we grow older, our parents, we find, oh no, let me take care of my responsibility. I remember, I don't want to tell you the name, she is also of our age, and she's in New Jersey. So they are three sisters. I taught all the three sisters. They all have reached to this golden years. The oldest sister, very wise concerning the two sisters, younger and the youngest, they have left their parents on their own. They don't even talk to them. Hey, older, why should I talk to these old baby guys? The one who was very close to me, whom I taught, who always listens to me, she took care of her mom until the last breath. At the same time, she was also taking care of her children when they are fully grown. She's still there. She is now a realtor. Initially, she was a writer in one of the best newspapers in New York City. So we take pride of that. It's good. And then the very large circle, the last circle of universal identification. So what happens? The mind undergoes a transformation. And when we have a universal identification in these years, anxiety, duality, and a conflict never touch us. We are relaxed and calm and poised. You get a call from the sun. No, I have a lot of problems. Okay, you patient listening. Patient listening, mentoring. Not dictating, directing, blaming, and complaining. Oh, why don't you drop to my house and we will sit and discuss and find the solution? Don't get into panicky because the problem is outside. To make you understand clearly, we are going little deeper. Think of a stone dropped in a pond. Initially, there just is a point of impact, then small ripples, then larger ones, then eventually touch the shore. Our consciousness has the potential to expand in similar fashion. You dropped it. Take it. It is anxiety. And once you start expanding, that anxiety dissipates when it touches the shore. That is what we are doing. Ask yourself, where do you find yourself? Where do you find yourself on this journey of life? Has your circle expanded naturally as you have aged it, or it still goes back to the same stuff? So what should I do? The moment it goes back to the same step, I should recognize and drop it. More philosophical, but just I want to set your mental tone towards evolution, towards to have a circle who whose circumference is almost like a straight line. It doesn't meet. So you have our life is like a tree. I'm giving lot of metaphors in this so you remember. Don't forget any of the metaphor. I gave you the metaphor of a stone. And our life is like a tree with the roots that extend far beyond what is visible. Roots inside, impressions inside, learning from the experiences inside, extend far beyond our family, our kids. Our existence depends on the countless factors. Our parents, our teachers, our kids. Here, in case of a tree, our existence depends on countless factors like parents, teachers, farmers who grew, our food, authors of the books that shaped our thinking, even strangers whose actions affected us indirectly. How might acknowledging these countless connections change our sense of where we begin and end? There is no beginning and end. This is what the Master says. It is a witness consciousness in us. It is a glimpse of the real self. So what happens, that glimpse of the real self? It is unwounded by weapons. It is unburnt by the fire. It is unwetted by the water. It is undried by the wind. Metaphorical. Means what? It is not impacted by any situation, problem, issues, challenges in the world outside. Why? Because it is made up of the nature of peace and happiness. I gave an example. The birds flying in the sky, the sky remains untouched. Perfect example. Whether the vulture are flying, or eagle are flying, or a small dove is flying, or a small bird, or even the smallest bird, hummingbird flies, nothing happens to the sky. Am I like a sky? Yes. That witness all the conditions, situations in our life, like the sky, who witness all the weather, but remains untouched. Throughout our life, we have been touched, we reacted, we became anxious, we react. No, now is the time in this golden year. Remain unaffected by any situation, condition, reaction, relations outside. After all, we must reach to a sense of emotional maturity. How long we are going to do the same thing again and again? Which a teenager does the same thing, and I'm doing the same thing. So where is the emotional maturity? As circle expands, their centers move farther from the original point. Original point limited. Spiritual growth involves a gradual decentering of our ego. If you think of that, how your perspective of life has changed when you were young and now, there's a tremendous change. But some impressions lives in the mind, and that knocks your door, causes you the anxiety. You have to get rid of that. You have to recognize that. Tell your mind you had the same anxiety when you were teen, young, and even now. What the heck you are doing, mind? What the heck you are doing, mind? So when we say someone, we use the word heck. We mean I'm not doing it. I'm free from it. What the heck you are doing, mind? I have to recognize, contemplate, and reflect and write to me. What are the five impressions or the thoughts you developed when you were a teenager, youth, when you started your business in the midlife, and now, which is still haunting you? We can find the source of our anxiety, reaction, duality, and also the depression. We have to detach ourselves from those thought, feeling, and emotions and the past experiences. You have not to be impacted by them. It was in the past. No guilt at all. We have to cherish those accumulated experiences which have helped us to grow and evolve and become mature. And we have to drop and dissolve and destroy those experiences which are still present and which is causing me the anxiety, blame, and complaint. I would love to hear your, I love to read your thoughts and questions about what we have covered so far. Which of these principles and stages which I explain in the form of concentric circles resonates most of with you? Is there any specific aspect of your life where you have noticed that something is blocking you? Come out openly. It is between you and me. So, how to follow that? I told you that first is the Mangala Charan in the mantra. You pick up even a single mantra. Sarvesham Swastir. Sarvesham Swastir. May there be happiness for all. Happiness is my essential nature. If it is my essential nature as a human being, then it is the essential nature of every human being. But what happens to me when I fall into anxiety and reaction? I lose awareness of my real nature. In the same way, my sibling, my friend, my kids also lose their sense of happiness within. That is why they get upset over me. It is not, I am not the cause. They are the cause. They forward. I am learning Eastern wisdom. I need not to forget it. We have more time listening and learning. You listen and learn once, drop it and find out. Write it down what you have learned, which principles I have touched. Oh, I forgot this, what he said. Oh, let me go through it again. Contemplate, reflect. You play with it, play with the principles. When you have a reflection, check that your intellect is clear, free from the doubt. That is the right moment to do the practice of meditation. It will help you progress faster and faster. Then, then we have to apply the same wisdom in our daily life. It means the thought, speech, and action has changed. It is going to change my behavior and attitude. When I change my behavior and attitude, it changes my personality. When I changes my personality, it minimizes the occurrence of the sins. I live a virtuous life. Merit and demerits, merits and demerits are nothing but the favorable and unfavorable conditions, situations, and relationships that we create every day. How? By responding. How do we respond? By thinking, speaking, and acting. So, if the thought is dictated by the past impressions, the first limited circle, instinctive and impulsive nature, this is going to create a lot of challenges in your life. Did you get it? I'm just rewinding and helping you. But once you got clear, we are, I can tell you, we stand at a unique crossroads with the wisdom of decades lived and potentially many vibrant years ahead. We have an unprecedented opportunity to experience this expansion of the self not as an abstract philosophy but as a lived reality. I'll tell you the story of a great master who lived 6,000 years ago. This is a real life story, but that is what is the fact. This master had two wives, and the master was a minister in the court of a king, so he was getting a lot of money, a lot of farmers and cows and cattle, so, and a lot of students, years and years. He reached the golden years. He was constantly contemplating and reflecting. One day he called both the wives. Will. He wrote the will 50-50. 50 to you, honey, 150 to honey, too. The first honey number one was very happy. At least, this crazy husband was controlling all the wealth, but now I have liberty to go after the pleasures, go on vacation, and have all kinds of food, etc., etc. Honey number two was wise. There was no lack of thinking. So she started thinking and she went to her husband, the master. There are a lot of books written by him. So honey number two approached her husband and he said, I appreciate that you divided all the wealth and you did not take even a single penny. So are you planning to leave the home? Yes. Where are you going? Into the woods in the Himalayas? But why? To absorb into the deep meditation? No, you already know the meditation. No, yes, I know the meditation, but I want to evolve further. Honey number two says, I will also go with you. I have already given the entire part of my wealth to honey number one. No, but I will not talk to you. Sometime for 10 hours and 15 hours of meditation practice I'll be doing. Those masters were rare masters. I have no problem. I will look at you at a distance. That will help me to move into that peace that will inspire me. And at the same time, how can you cook the food so at least I'll be able to offer you my services? Those golden years. He practiced for a couple of years and then he returned to the world and he said, how to achieve that happiness, that love, that wisdom are our essential. How? I change myself from I am happy to I am happiness. Did you understand? I'm in peace to I'm in peace to I am the peace. I am wise to I am the wisdom. I love you too I am the love. Once we recognize and experience we have found the real self. We have found the real self. At a lower level, I won't use it as a very high level, it's something very great. A lot of scientists have done. But according to the science, they have really done the remarkable job. What they say that as we reach to the golden years, and if we continue our brain active by the study of the Eastern wisdom and practicing meditation, we can change the cells of the brain. Neurons, the neuroplasticity. I study a lot of literature, the neuroplasticity, and a couple of the research scientists, they say they can even change the epigenetics, the genes. Right, like that master who spent 15 hours in meditation, who reached to that state of, yes, we can do that. But you see that, what happens, So when you change those brain cells, those concentric circles, which causes those limitations because of the past impressions and negative memories, they also lose their hold on your mind. You are able to change your behavior and attitude. I'm linking here. We have already explained deeply, we have understood deeply. So the science does not understand the concept of the past impressions and the memories. They create different grooves and then they continue to haunt and leads to anxiety, duality, and a conflict. So many scientists have done a lot of research studies. Science has yet to understand that Eastern wisdom says that all the things are interconnected at all the time. And when we understand that interaction, for example, you are still connected to your children. I'm not talking the physical level, social level, professional level, monetary. No, deeper inside, very deep inside, based on your past impressions and the way you think, speak, and act. So those impressions demands a transformation in the change, so that we do not continue to live into that concentric limited circle, to continue to express our anxiety, reaction, blame, complain, etc. No, no, no. We are done with it. We are free. We are free. Expansion of this that limited self is 100% possible. It has been validated by thousands of masters in the Eastern wisdom, and it is possible in these golden years for us also. How you approach it, how much you are committed, that depends. Shanti, Shanti, to